In the PEC season, it's a race to the top with time winding down. For Syracuse, that looks like clinching a top 3 seed. But for Baylor, well, that just looks like getting their first win. Welcome into Thursday Night Smash. I'm Rowan Mastrangelo alongside my good friend Ryan Foreman. It's Syracuse versus Baylor with time winding down in the PEC season. The Orange slotted in at the 4 seed in the conference at 8-4. Baylor bringing up the rear at 0-12. It's been a tough year for the Bears.
The Bears have not found their way. They've won one set, their only set, 2 weeks ago. But here's where it gets interesting for Syracuse. They're sitting at 8-4. They're 1.5 behind the 13 Nebraska and 2 behind Minnesota at 2. But here's the thing. They're going to be the 4th seed this week. They're going to be the 4th seed next week, regardless what happens, Rowan. But that's where it gets interesting because Nebraska is currently playing undefeated 1 seed Michigan State. So while they got to stay focused on this game, the Orange will have to watch that MSU game slightly.
Yeah, Michigan State has been an absolute powerhouse this year, handled the Orange early in the season, and have coasted their way through the PEC as anticipated after just their first few opening matches. But we've got an interesting matchup aside from the Orange's game tonight against the Bears. It's Michigan State versus Nebraska. As we mentioned, Nebraska, the 3 seed. With a Michigan State win, they'd move to 13-0 and clinch that number 1 seed. Very advantageous as we approach May. But Nebraska would stay as that 3 seed, but with a Syracuse win and a Nebraska loss, the Orange are just half a game behind that coveted 3 seed, which would avoid possibly having to play Michigan State in the second round of the PEC Championship. So attaining that top 3 seed, vital for the Orange. And as we get closer and closer towards the end of the season, it's well within reach, depending on what happens today in the Shine Gaming and Esports Center and also out in Michigan.
Absolutely. There's a world where the Orange get the 2 seed here. I mean, a lot can go down in these next 3 weeks for this 2 through 4 seed stretch. It's really just incredible to see, but you got to think, even though that might add a little bit of pressure to this Orange team, they got to get business done tonight. They got to just stick to their guns and complete a clean game against the Baylor Bears.
You're absolutely right, and that's what we're getting into in just a few moments. But let's take you through how this is going to work tonight. It's not a traditional crew matchup. Here in the PEC, we do things a little bit different. It's more of a snake draft format. So we flipped a coin. Whoever wins the coin toss chooses Team A or Team B. Team A picks the blind first. Syracuse was Team A. So their first pick, they went with Scooby, who will fight as Me Brawler, as he's been doing all season, a very solid contributor for the Orange. Then Baylor gets an opportunity to counterpick, which they did, and they went ahead with Luma Shot, who's also Me Brawler. So a bit of a ditto matchup there. It'll be interesting and a little bit difficult to follow along on your screen, but we'll walk you through it. After that counterpick from Baylor, then they get a blind, and then Syracuse gets the opportunity to counterpick. Baylor's blind. They went ahead and chose Howard, who plays Incineroar, and then Syrup as Ness. Best player in the country. It's going to be a scary one. Definitely an advantageous matchup for the Cuse. Following that, it's Mill Sharks' Donkey Kong for the Orange, and then that's going to go up against Calamity's Terry. Then rounding it off, it's Trickster's Mario for the Bears, and for the Orange, it's Ado Bears' Pit. So that's how the first set's going to go. It's a best-of-3 format, but that snake draft, it's a little confusing. It's not exactly how most traditional Smash competitions go, but we are hopping right into Game 1 here. It's Me Brawler versus Me Brawler, Luma Shot versus Scooby. Oh, excuse me. Just a couple button checks going on right now, so about a minute till game action. But this first matchup, Me Brawler versus Me Brawler, what can you tell me about Ditto matches?
I mean, it's very interesting. First of all, the Me's as themselves, very customizable characters. So It's always that unexpected element, seeing what moves are thrown out by each person. It also tells you a lot about that person, what they value. We see the shot put that Scooby uses a lot. That is just a very effective move. Can use it from anywhere on the stage. Can edge guard, do really anything with it. And that uppercut up air, very good finisher move there. So it's a very diverse character. It's going to be interesting to see what Luma Shark picks for his moveset.
You mentioned the shot put that Me Brawler often, or that, Scooby often brings to the table, and I can't understate that move enough. A character like Me Brawler, I mean, the projectiles are just so limited, and that's a big setback is, being able to kind of create that space against me Brawler, not really give him an opportunity to get in close and personal. It's obviously his forte. So having a projectile move like the shot put is absolutely vital. It's served a lot of success for Scooby, especially in the edge guarding department. But it's really gonna be a test to see what Lumashot pulls out. Do you think that they're also gonna go with some projectiles or stick to the melee roots of the character?
I mean, when it's a mirror matchup like this, especially when it's brawlers, I feel like you come to expect the hands just being thrown back and forth. So who knows? I honestly think that this is gonna be an up close and very personal matchup. Every move that you see on this Mii Brawler, except that shot put we were talking about, is up close in your face. That suplex side B. Absolutely electric move. Very fun. Almost Brock Lesnar Suplex City, if you catch my drift.
Scooby and Lumashot. Mii Brawler versus Mii Brawler. Welcome to Thursday Night Smash. It's Syracuse and Baylor. The Orange, an opportunity to inch closer to that top 3 seeding, and Baylor still hunting for the first W of the season. Lumashot takes the early percentage advantage, but it's clapped right back from Scooby against Scooby and Lumashot. Lumashot in that green suit, whereas Syrup in the blue, the secondary color for the Cuse. An up tilt, can't quite follow it with the up air, but a swift air dodge maintains stage control. Still jostling for center stage around these middle percents, but it's been fairly even in terms of damage trade-off.
And we've yet to see a projectile being thrown yet. We've seen the suplex. We now see the uppercut up air there, but a lot of just jabs. And there's the shot put for the first time.
There it is, used in an edge guarding scenario, but also trying to get back on the edge, which he did successfully. But there's that fire kick that you mentioned earlier, and a good falling forward air. There's the shot put, trying to keep Scooby off the edge. Again, you can't quite anticipate a win against any team here in the PEC, and we're seeing just that early on, a fairly even matchup. 115 for the Cuse, 126 rather, and 99 for the Baylor Bears in Lumashot. Lumashot trying to maintain that center stage control, but it's quickly overtaken by Scooby, who's doing a solid job edge guarding, but position overthrown.
That feint kick is absolutely lethal. Very deceptive move, as the name says. Very good lateral coverage, as you see Scooby use there, but also just a very effective move as that up smash. Jesus.
Beautiful up smash. It's a fast-moving game, and just like that, the Baylor Bears up a stock on the Cuse.
Very, very fast moves this Mii Brawler has. Not a lot of end lag either. Very, very efficient character getting the job done. Very good all-rounder up front.
Lumashot with an opportunity to get a lot of mileage out of this stock at 123%. Scooby's eyes are on the KO, but Lumashot trying to preserve his life as much as possible, and that he nearly did. Got the jab block, but couldn't quite finish it off. Beautiful shot put, sniped. We're notched up at 2.
He might as well be an Olympian with that throw. That was absolutely lethal from way downtown.
Way downtown. It's like we're hooping out here. 63%, 37 now. Scooby racking it up to nearly 60. There it is. But a clap back there brings him to 75. And that first trip off the edge for Syracuse. 83 now. Couldn't quite seal it with the up B. Now Lumashot just waiting for an opportunity to pounce, and he thought it was there right there with the up smash. Syracuse can't quite take advantage, but at a very opportunistic percent, both of these opponents here, right around the middle to high range, which for a slasher like Mii Brawler is very, very comfortable.
And this shot put ball once again being used to very effective capabilities. But I'm also seeing a lot with this ledge guarding. It's very patient right now. As I just say that, another up smash for Scooby, taking the stock 2-1.
Now the Cuse back in the driver's seat, a 2-1 lead. Again, a high percentage second stock here. That up smash can't quite do it. So Scooby gonna have to, almost caught him falling off. Oh, that air dodge. Again, he can get back. Boy, he is flirting with danger here on this second to last stock. Lumashot.
And there.
The big punch. And we are nearly knotted up on this final stock. A very, very good effort there from Lumashot to bring the Bears back into contention.
It's like I said, maybe that pressure getting to them in this first. A little bit of jitters going in, understanding how much this game is worth, how much this match means to this final stretch of the season.
Both characters in mid percents. The final stock here will seal this first game. 78, nearly 80. Now both characters knotted up at 80. Guarding the edge is Lumashot. Has maintained center stage control for a very good percentage of this first round here. Decent chip damage from Scooby's end, but again, Lumashot still ahead by just a slight margin. Clap back there with a dash attack. The shot put, great knockback. Can't quite lace 2 in a row. Lumashot gets back on stage and now owns center. An air dodge. Back to the edge is Scooby. Failed up smash. Both characters. Up smash from Lumashot, and that'll do it. The Bears start this one off, upsetting the Cuse. A 4-2 Baylor lead.
Woohoo! This makes things interesting. Very, very interesting. Luma shot. Actually, the one move he used different was the flame kick, which I never see, but this up smash was an absolutely lethal weapon for both sides of these Mii brawlers. But definitely a very interesting matchup on both sides, Rowan.
I got to ask you, when we haven't seen quite a lot of Ditto matchups here in PEC play, but when that does happen, is it easier for, opponents to kind of read the other one and maybe assume what is going to come out of them offensively and defensively?
I got to think it's harder just because they know the character so well. They know the frames. They know the end lag. So they're thinking 2 miles ahead than you really should when you're playing a character maybe you're not as used to. But when you're playing the same character with one different move, I think that makes your brain go a mile a minute.
This one was back and forth the whole way through, and it really came down to the final blow. An up smash from Lumashad puts his Baylor Bears up 4-2 against the 4-seeded Cuse. Moving into the second round, it's Syrup from Syracuse, best player in the nation, up against Howard's Incineroar. Definitely a tough matchup when you're going up against Syrup, but Ness versus Incineroar, tell me about that.
This guy used Ness as a Bible before Steve came out and smashed. Ness was Syrup's go-to for most of this game's lifespan, if we're being real.
Yes.
Steve, very fun character, but Ness, he's a very versatile character. Deceptively very, very good at combos with that down B, which is actually more used to help with projectiles, but it's actually a very good combo stringer.
Yeah, he strings together moves really effortlessly. You'll see it. It's really a thing of beauty, and especially against characters that have a larger hitbox like Incineroar. That is just the pupils of Ness widen when you're up against heavy-hitting characters like that.
You also see Incineroar, not a very agile character, both on the ground and on the air, so you got to think Syrup has to take that into advantage when he's using range moves like that PK Fire, PK Flash, PK Thunder. All these moves are able to deal with an Incineroar that likes to be up close and personal.
Right now, Baylor 4-2 lead up against the Orange. Syracuse took a 4-1 lead last week, but against Boise State. But that was very quickly honed back in from the Broncos after a conversation with their head coach, Doc Haskell. Consistently, the Boise State Broncos have been able to kind of trump the Orange's early leads, and Syracuse has an opportunity to kind of shut that down. It's been a frequent from the Orange, and tonight is a little bit different. Now they're on the receiving end of it. Now they're down early. You think they can come back?
You mentioned that Baylor game. I don't want to throw shade at Syrup here, but that one stock he let up in the first game was very costly.
Against Boise State.
Yeah. Very, very costly. It ended up costing the Orange 11-10.
Right.
So when it comes down to it, Syrup just has to stick to his guns, get back in the zone, and be the number 10 player in the world.
That's the thing about PEC play and about this different format is that every stock matters. It's no longer you're just trying to reach a certain stock count and then your team wins. It's comparative. It's a really holistic experience. Every player has to hold their own as much as possible. And Syrup walks out of that matchup with a 3-1 win, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to seal the set number 1, and it resulted in Syracuse going to a very stressful third set. So an opportunity here for the Orange to not only get the lead, but also to do it handedly and get some overall momentum to carry into future sets.
Definitely, you got to do that. Maybe you think that Syrup's presence here actually helps, because last time he was playing online. Maybe the Sarvi help here, who's not playing tonight, is going to help everybody. The motivation that this team brings, it's a community, it's a brotherhood.
You're absolutely right, and that's been present since day one. I was covering this team last year, and Syracuse Esports has seen a ton of development just as a program holistically, and as the program develops, it only gets the guys more fired up and more in love with the mission that they're pushing, which is to win and stay connected. And it's been exemplary in their play, but also off the screen as well. As we get into this matchup here, it's Syrup for Syracuse and Howard for Baylor. The Bears with a 4-2 lead over the Orange. Here we go.
And do you think that there's any world where Syrup might be out of practice with Ness playing with Steve so much?
That's something that I thought about a little bit. He's really migrated to the Steve-centered play, has adopted Steve as his primary main. But it's like riding a bike, really, Ryan. You pick it up, you do it once, and then you never forget it. And I think that's, on display pretty early here. Syrup with an early lead. Incineroar flirting
Hasn't
with
taken
danger.
a hit.
Not a single hit. While Incineroar, the big dog, at 108 and a
Oh
0 to death the
goodness.
hard way, but nonetheless, the orange with an early lead.
Woo! I mean, the yo-yo edge guarding wasn't even necessary. Incineroar was under the stage, and that's just not a place you can be when you're playing a character that can move like bricks in the air.
The first damage dealt to Syrup, but too little too late, and I fear that's the story of this one. Syracuse with a full stock lead, and looking to add to it is Syrup. 30% on Lumashot and 46 now on Syrup. That side B, very dangerous. A really reliable option for Incineroar.
Very effective. High damage on one side with the clothesline.
Goodbye!
I got cut off by Syrup. Absolutely stunting right there.
Clocked.
Absolutely lit up like a Christmas tree.
46-32, but the percents don't tell the story here. It's the stocks. Syrup with 3 and Lumashot on his final.
And now you got to see the tension building on Lumashark. He's realizing, oh man, I am up against the number 10 player in the world, and I have only dealt 62.5%.
That down smash gets absorbed by Lumashot, excuse me, not Lumashark. I'm confusing him with Millsharks of Syracuse. We'll see him in round 3. 83% now approaching kill zone. There we go. There's the back throw. Chasing him with the up B. Looking for an option. That back air will send him off the next edge, but gets back on stage safely. Punish opportunity. Can't get it with the back air. Really flirting with danger. There's a second back air, and that does the trick. Just 65% dealt to Syrup as he drizzles it all over Howard. Syracuse reclaims the lead.
Does Syrup have a suitcase on? A suit? Because that was just a business trip he took. Absolute with ease. Barely any issues with that. He just took that and said, okay, I'll be the number 10 player in the world, and you can't do anything about it.
And that's exactly what Syrup does. I mean, I can't act like I'm surprised here. 6-4 now, the score. Orange back in the driver's seat as we head into round 3. It's Millsharks' Donkey Kong up against Calamity's Terry. But before we get there, I want to break down what just happened because, frankly, it was very quick. You know, we started and then we were done just like that. But, I mean, let's take a look here. Syrup early on, the 0 to death, not a problem. The 3-2 lead. And then gets in a jab lock here and crushes it 450 beyond the fence. Now the final stock. This one had a little more life to it. Sticking around a little bit was Howard a little bit more, but same result. I mean, you can't expect anything else. Syrup absolutely went to town.
It's like I said, just a business trip. PK Fire is one of the best stun moves in the game, period. That's why everybody thinks it's one of the most annoying moves in the game.
Myself included.
That just, you see why. He PK'd Fire, got up and said, hey, 450.
Bang!
Yard.
Like, no, yard. He did put him yard.
Yard. And then he just took control because he's Syrup. Syrup does what he wants, and he controls the stage so effectively, whether he's playing Ness or Steve, even more with Steve because of the blocks and all that. But Ness, he's playing it for fun at this point, it looked like.
I really think that was a good choice from Syrup to go Ness there. Well, now, would the result be a little different with Steve? Probably not.
Does it matter?
It really doesn't. But you know, it is kind of refreshing to be reminded how multifaceted Syrup is as a player. It's obviously respectable if you can perfect the main, but if you can pull another character out of your bag that you can play at such a high level, I mean, it's just a testament to his craft, really.
It's truly just incredible. He's just so good at what he does because he's the number 10 player. He gets so much reps in. He puts in so much work. He travels all over the world for this. He lives and breathes Smash Bros.
And you can tell. I mean, it's all over the screen. 6-4, Syracuse leads. Millsharks' Donkey Kong and Calamity's Terry up next. Millsharks for the orange and Calamity for Baylor. So the Bears were in the driver's seat briefly, but now Syracuse has kind of overtaken the lead here. What are you telling your players as the Baylor Bears who just had a lead and now don't? You know, what's the mindset here?
Well, it's almost like how we've been gassing up Syrup. You got to be like, okay, that was kind of expected.
Right.
You got to bring it back down.
Brush it off.
Move on to the next match. You got to take care of business because I like this matchup because this is just pure hands. Two heavy characters going at it with very, very limited air movement. So you get off the stage, it's going to be hard to get back on.
Terry, a character that, I mean, people aren't fairly familiar with. Donkey Kong, obviously, one of the core fighters, one of the core Nintendo staples. But Terry was a fairly modern character in terms of Smash Ultimate. What can you tell me about him?
Coming from the Fatal Fury fighting franchise, he's got a lot of fighting moves, as in those quarter circles, forwards, backwards, those dragon punches. So he's a very technical character by default, but his bread and butter combo actually has nothing to do with all those inputs. That jab, jab, dunk it's so effective because you just can't do anything about it once you're caught in it.
Donkey Kong, on the other hand, I mean, I would say a little less flair in terms of
absolutely not.
Right.
Just pure business end of a broadsword.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. And so fun to watch. I mean, we've been watching Milsharks play for quite some time, and he's thrown out a variety of different characters, along with the next matchup we'll see, which is Ado Bears and Trickster. Ado Bears of Syracuse, Trickster of Baylor. But Milsharks, no different. I mean, a plethora of characters, Donkey Kong being just one of them. But with these heavyweight matchups, is it fair to say that there's a little more room for error with the percentages getting up pretty high?
I definitely think so, just because these two will not move much, especially Donkey Kong. But I mean, look, both of them have their spike moves. That forward air for Donkey Kong just sends you into the ground and beyond, which is absolutely a joy to watch and a joy to hit. But it's overall just going to be about, okay, who can control the stage? Who's going to edge guard better here?
I mean, the spike, one of the most electrifying stock finishes, and Donkey Kong equipped with 4 of them. That down B, that forward air, the down air, and that side B, the 4th and final. I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
It's a recipe to say, okay, this is going to be a fun one as we get right into this.
And hopefully it will be. It's Syracuse up 6-4 against Baylor. Milsharks is Donkey Kong for the Orange against Calamity's Terry for Baylor. And it looks like Calamity, with the early percentage advantage here, a little bit quicker, and it has a little bit more range than Donkey Kong, so I'm assuming he'll use that to his advantage.
Yeah, that power wave there, the only ranged move between these two, unless you count that down B for Donkey Kong having a little bit of range, but still more of a physical move.
You just saw it right there, launched Terry up into the air. Calamity, of course, the player behind the action for Baylor. 76-61, Syracuse trails. And here's Donkey Kong, the forward smash, can't land, tried to punish with the up B, no, and evaded a vulnerable position there at the edge. Oh, can't quite recover.
Told ya.
Calamity falls to his defeat.
Hard time guarding the edge there. I mean, Terry was building up that percentage to get into that go meter where he can do the Buster Wolf and the Power Geyser. But overall, I mean, you gotta know your character strengths and weaknesses, because Terry, his upgraded version of that up air, you need to hold down before, and you can't do that in the air.
Couple combos there out of Terry to try and force Milsharks into knockout zone, 108. You know, against most characters, that would be okay, but Donkey Kong, a little more heft. There's the side B. Can't punish a good mash from Calamity.
And that forward air almost there, but you got to see this. He wants that smash. He wants that electrifying moment.
142 now. That won't do it. Donkey Kong, Milsharks getting really high in percents. The edge guarding. Juggle a little bit. There's an up air, 166 any day now. But Milsharks getting great longevity out of this stock. The throw can't do it, 182. A little hesitation, just too much. Milsharks falls, but not before 102% dealt to Calamity.
There's that little feint of that power wave there that is altered differently in the air. But overall, I mean, Milsharks did great on that stock. I mean, he lived to 143%, and you can't complain about that.
Got a lot of value, and I'm sure hoping to extend that into a full stock, but not before the spike comes.
Yikes, I
Calamity
told you.
slams Milsharks. Oh, but the grab. Oh, that's going to knot us right back up.
My God, I told you, man, there was going to be nonstop action in this. Just pure entertainment from wire to wire.
Anything you can do, I can do better. We're knotted at 1 apiece. 58% on Syracuse and 54 against the Bears. Calamity handing it to Milsharks right now. Really maintaining control of center stage. The air dodge punished with a dash attack. But slamming down on the stage is Calamity. Now Syracuse again in those higher percents. All predicted the roll, but didn't quite do it correctly. Is that going to do it? No! Good DI from Milsharks. Syracuse stays alive. 154 now, fighting for every bit of his life. Dropped a little far, but not too far. Milsharks back on stage against Calamity. Oh, big opportunity! And that'll do it!
Wow!
Calamity punishes the Milsharks side B, and Baylor back in this thing. We are knotted.
My God, I mean, that jab right there, that burning knuckle has been a very effective tool for the Terry there. I mean, just absolutely business. He claimed 2 stocks with that move and didn't use the combo I was saying, that jab, power dunk once, which I'm very impressed by, because that is a bread and butter way to get at least 30%.
What a game. I mean, that one was back and forth all day. Can't wait to take a look at it. But 8-8 game here. It's anyone's game. It's going to come down to this final matchup. But before we get there, let's take a look at how we got there. Walk us through it.
And look, as you're watching here, the Donkey Kong here, Milk Shark just business for most of it, but here is where it came down. That spike by Terry on that down air, and then the cargo carry. And this made it the most interesting thing, a 0-0 death match, where it's just back and forth, and then burning knuckle. It's a lot of just parry, counter, dodging, moving, until you get that one opening. And Terry for Baylor made it count.
That's the thing that really separates high-level Smash and sort of mid to low-level Smash is just the amount of waiting, the amount of patience it takes. You can't do anything until you find an opening, and that side B at the very end from Millsharks, it was the perfect opening for Calamity to come in and take that stock. If you get too impatient, your stock is over, and we saw just that against Millsharks. 8-8 game, knotted up. The 8-4 Syracuse Orange, the 4 seed in the PEC, looking to climb just a bit higher. Baylor comes into this one 0-12 with just one set won all season. Came just 2 weeks ago on the brink of their second one set of the entire PEC season.
You got to think that adds a little bit of pressure to this Orange team, but it's got to come down to this last match. This is a winner go home, points be damned. But overall, this matchup, I kind of like it if I'm Syracuse.
Well, this matchup, it's 8-0 Bears for Syracuse as Pitt, a ton of fighters in 8-0 Bears' bag, decides to go out the humble Pitt, and he's going up against Trickster's Mario for Baylor.
Now, Pitt, obviously a more air-savvy character. If you couldn't tell, he's based on an angel. Well, Mario, he's a humble plumber, so not a lot of air motion. However, that front air for Mario, absolutely deadly. One of the most hype moves in fighting games, period. Yeah. And overall, I got to think that Ado is going to be managing his distance here back and forth because Pitt can do that very, very effectively.
I'm sure Ado Bears, was not expecting to be in this position up against the Baylor Bears. This is a team that came in with really not a lot of data to back them up. But that's the thing about the PEC. It doesn't matter. These are the best of the best. These are the powerful esports teams, most powerful esports conference. That's PEC. And we're seeing it right here. So a lot of pressure coming up in this moment. But that's why you come to Syracuse, and that's why you get into these high-pressure games and put your players through that. A lot of times we see Syrup in these types of scenarios. He's often first or last. Today he was slotted in at second, a bit of a rarity for the Orange. But today it's not him. It's 8-0 Bears. This format it forces every member of your team to step up. What are you telling 8-0 Bears right now?
You got to tell 8-0 Bears, you got to be patient. You saw what happened when we were rushing, when Milkshark was playing that DK. Patience is going to be your best friend here. And without that, I think Pitt suffers as a character because of that side B. So much end lag where you could be punished for an eternity. Mario has a lot of quick moves to make use of, but it's got to just be patience and pacing. You got to control the pace of the fight. You got to control the distance of the fight. And with that, I think you can get the job done.
Haven't seen 8-0 Bears play Pitt in a very long time. It was a similar post-game discussion to what we had with Syrup as Ness. Was there a little bit of rust there? Haven't seen him play Pitt in a really long time. I've seen 8-0 Bears play about 3 or 4 different fighters, ranging from DDD to, characters of any weight class. Obviously, DDD, a little chubby. But
man, why are you doing my man?
I haven't seen him play.
Why are you doing DDD like that? Come
why am
on,
I doing
man.
him like that? I haven't seen him play Pitt in a long time. Is there such a thing as rust?
Yes, in most cases, absolutely. But right now, I think rust is the least of your concerns. I think it's pure anxiety and making sure you're not the one that drops this set.
It's going to be tricky for the Orange with a lot on the line. 8-0 Bears' Pitt up against Trickster's Mario. We'll be there in just a moment. But let's take a quick look at what happened earlier. First, it was Scooby's Me Brawler up against Lumashot's Me Brawler. The Ditto matchup, that one, of course, went to Baylor. And that one really stunned us. A 4-2 Baylor win, one we were definitely surprised about. But they held the lead. Then, the obvious happened.
Syrup did syrup.
He did. He checked in and took it pretty handedly, tied us up. Took the lead 6-4. Now we're here, an 8-8 game, and that was between Millsharks and Calamity. Millsharks took it, Calamity took it, and put his Bears right back into contention. And now we sit here, 8-8 in set 1. The Baylor Bears on the verge of winning their second set in all of the PEC season. 0-12, so that's over 25 sets played, and you've won one of them.
I'm speechless because there's just what else is there to be said.
Right.
0-12. It's been a long year, and to only win one set to your name. It's not a good achievement to have, but right now they look like they're playing a team that's in the middle of the pack of the PEC.
And it's a huge momentum boost to do something like this. I remember Syracuse Syracuse took a set off of, or nearly took a set off of Michigan State earlier on in the year. I mean, little did we know they would go on to sit 12-0 and be a game away from clinching the #1 seed in the PEC. But that they knew going into that game that they were a studded roster. And they nearly took a set off of them. And so going into that next set, set 2, it was electric. I mean, Syracuse came out the gates absolutely guns a-blazing. It really does a lot for your team, and I'm sure Baylor's thinking a similar way right now.
I mean, definitely. But now you just got to think, okay, calm down, take a deep breath, and reset. This matchup means a lot, but hypothetically say you do drop it. Then I think it's a mental reset for everybody. Okay, lock in. We get this business done.
Who's taking the set first? It's 8-8. We are knotted up here. Is it the 8-4 Syracuse Orange or the 0-12 Baylor Bears? Well, 8-0 Bears for Syracuse and Trickster for Baylor will help us decide that as we get into the final match in just a moment.
And I mean, you actually can't make this up. Even the game's like, hold on, I got to mentally prepare myself for this because that's just how much this game means. We got a no contest out the gate, which I don't think I've seen that in competitive Smash, but I mean, that's the dangers when you play online like this.
You hate to see it. Yeah, we didn't see any of that last week. I know Syrup was online in the last game. He's here with us today.
I mean, I'm genuinely just speechless of just what happened because we've hyped this matchup so much. We get to it. 2 seconds later, not really. Right. So it's a lot of breathing room for us. It's a lot of breathing room for them. But I got to think, do you think this maybe adds to the anxiety?
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I played a lot of sports growing up, and I'm not necessarily familiar with a lot of competitive esports environments, but definitely more conventional sports. And, you know, the worst thing ever is coming out of halftime, or you're coming out of a timeout, and the break entertainment is on the court, and you've got to wait for them to finish up, and you're just like, oh my goodness, let me check my watch, can we wrap this thing up? And you're waiting to get on the floor. It is absolutely no different. I mean, I know these gentlemen have been ready for quite some time now, and I'm sure this is frustrating. And the thing about that thing that's interesting is, for some guys, it doesn't really affect them. For some guys, it really fires them up, gets them more time to instill confidence. But for a lot of players, this stresses them out.
It's just what side of the coin you're on. I mean,
right.
Are you the anxiety type, or are you like, I'm playing with pure anger, let me get this done, I want to play, I want to win?
And in esports, it's so mental. I mean, it's really not about physical strength much at all.
No.
It's all about your mental capacity, how you can ground yourself. It's a big reason why Syracuse brought on so many coaches in the Rocket League department. They brought on a more technical coach, but also a more mental, a coach more curated for the mental side of things. And it's something that Syracuse esports has tried to harp on a lot this year, is not only preparing their players for what's happening on the screen, but how you can mentally best prepare for that, how you can approach it and instill confidence in your play. And this is a moment where that's going to be tested.
I mean, you look at the screen right there. You see legs are bouncing, faces are being scratched. There's a lot going on because there isn't a lot going on, frankly, and it's really something else. You touched on that you played a lot of sports. I played tennis, which is a sport where you switch every other game. And if that didn't help anxiety, how about a 10-minute change between sets, which we also have here, funny enough. So it's actually just so much mental fortitude being tested here. We started late. We're moving on. This is a lot to put on this team.
Well, we'll be with you in just a few moments. We'll be right back before the final matchup of this set. 8-0 Bears' Pitt versus Tricksters Mario. Syracuse and Baylor knotted at 8. We'll be with you in just a few moments. Stick with us. The final matchup of set 1, Syracuse 8, Baylor 8. It's a winner-go-home scenario for this set. Obviously a best of 3. Whoever takes it will be up 1-0. Ado Bears is Pitt for Syracuse and Trickster's Mario for Baylor. A fairly even matchup to start out the gate. A little bit of command now being shown here from Ado Bears as Pitt. We haven't seen him play this character in a long time.
And Ado looking very confident. I mean, a lot of neutral air, a lot of air pressure. As you see that up smash there, he just has so much control over the air and the stage right now.
Pitt's neutral air, one of the best in the game. A very large hitbox, a multi-hit move. Very, very solid option. We've seen him rely on it quite a bit. Ado Bears, now a really big percent difference, focusing on guarding the edge and getting in those knockout moves, while Trickster more focused on just staying in this one.
And I mean, you just saw it there with that Pitt arrow. He has so much control over it in the air. Along with that cape, though, from Mario, he can reflect it. So you got to think it's almost a direct counter to one of the most versatile moves as Pitt, with that front smash, Ado Bears takes control.
Now with a 1-stock lead for Syracuse. Again, this one will determine set 1. A near combo there from Trickster, but couldn't quite seal it. The up B will interrupt Ado Bears, but that down tilt to neutral air. And some more. The forward air now hunting off the edge. Mario falls to his demise. Ado Bears tricks up Trickster. 3-1 orange lead.
And you would think the pause would affect Ado Bears. Absolutely no signs of stress as he's taken full control of this match.
59-17, a 3-1 lead for Syracuse. The win here will take set 1. Here's Ado Bears. No, Trickster with a decent up B. Decently high on percents. There it is. Couple moves. The grab. Oh, yeah. The down. Oh, the falling neutral air. Excuse me.
A lot of options here on both sides to take out the opponent. As that cape reflect there, I was talking about, almost a direct counter to that move.
We're encroaching here on the 3-stock. That down tilt neutral air so good in middle percents, and it was showcased right there. Couldn't quite get that up smash. Now the falling back air won't land. The forward smash.
You gotta take a chance. You gotta take a chance of your Ado Bears. You're up 2 stocks right now. You gotta just be getting that final hit before you end this stock, maybe.
Both players hunting for an opening. The recovery from Ado Bears is good. Can't get the down tilt there. Now the down throw on the grab. A very vulnerable position here for Trickster. Ado Bears. No, the up smash will take the stock. Trickster creeping back into this thing. Ado Bears, but a little bit on his heels.
Well, you got to just think points don't matter right now. Whoever wins this, wins this.
There's the down tilt to neutral air again. 141 for the middleweight Mario.
And now just a lot of footsies right now playing each other out. Not enough.
Here's Ado Bears chasing off the edge. 155, flirting with danger. The down tilt can't get the forward air. 162 now. Here's the down throw, stringing together some combos. Oh, 64% couldn't land the sweet spot forward air, but still a successful combo nonetheless for Trickster. Can't get the side B. Here's the back throw. Not enough, but dangerous. The forward air does it. Back air, excuse me. 1 stock apiece. Dash attack. Good DI from Trickster. Ado Bears and Trickster inching closer and closer to a true final matchup.
Jackpot!
The forward smash got it.
He got all of that.
Ado Bears tricking up the Trickster. Syracuse takes set 1.
Woo, my heart is racing after that. The reverse sweep almost happened there. But you got to see when you're that high in a stock, 97 by the time you take the first stock. There's not a lot for you to do, but really an incredible job by Trickster, nearly clawing his way back into that. But Ado Bears, he just had that control from the start, and there was too much to make up.
Syracuse takes this one 12-10, but not before letting off a little sweat. I mean, that one was a scary one, but job's not finished. This is a best of 3. Syracuse leads 1-0, but I want to take a look at how that one happened. There was a lot to look at, and it was an early lead for Syracuse, and we'll take a look at it here. 3 stocks to 3 stocks. Really good control of center stage here. Mario, Trickster, trying to get back, but couldn't quite do it there. Now chasing off the edge again. Not really sure what happened there. Maybe a misinput, but a stock is a stock nonetheless. And Syracuse got up to a huge lead here. And look at that, 1 stock to 1 stock. It was getting really close towards the end there, but that forward smash just did it, and it was in the nick of time. Syracuse leads 1-0 in a best of 3 against Baylor.
And that's what I was saying at the start. Ado had so much control over the center and the air at the start, but once the Trickster started to claw back, that's when that stage control changed, and you saw that. But then right at the end, perfectly placed F smash, and Syracuse takes home the set, just like you said.
In one of Baylor's best opportunities to win its second set of the season, they fall just short to Syracuse. The Orange with a 1-0 lead. We'll head to break and be right back with you with set number 2 in just a matter of moments.
all-rounded character who could control everything as bye goes Joker. He never saw it coming.
56% now for Ado Bears, but still it's got that one stock lead early on. Very good capitalizing on an early percent. Did a good job here. And really no opportunity, thankfully, for Ado Bears to make the most out of the stock. It's only at 56%.
And this is starting off very familiar with Ado Bears taking control, as we can see there. That middle, so efficient.
Already knotted back up. Now Syracuse with the percentage lead as well as the stock lead. Really evading that Arsene form very well. It gets so dangerous, and if you can play a little more evasive, a little more passive, you will be rewarded. And there's that up tilt into that up air. A solid combo around mid to high percents for Pitt. And looking to tack on more! Ooh. The spike sends Trickster into the void. 3-1 stock lead for the Orange.
And that was absolutely amazing. Just once again, the control is unreal in the air to just spike Joker into the earth.
70-31, Syracuse 3 stocks. Baylor just 1. Look at this, Arsene activated. And now Pitt still very evasive. Ado Bears doing a great job keeping the space and also his composure in this early round number 1.
Definitely. The very low perception that you see from this Arsene form is it doesn't just add power, but it adds follow-ups to some of Joker's moves, especially his air moves. It adds a spike to that down air and a very good follow-up to that up air.
Syracuse started round 1 of set 1, losing 4-2 to Baylor. This time, Ado Bears with an opportunity to 3-0 for the first time today, besides Syrup up against Howard. Not gonna happen, though. A very good edge guard from Trickster takes the first Syracuse stock away.
Question, Rowan, do you get deja vu? This is looking very familiar.
Nah, Syracuse looking good. Really good pressure. 1 stock down for the Orange, but Trickster creeping up on that last life.
The Trickster is making his way to creeping, get those stocks, but 106%, it doesn't give you a lot of room for error.
There's the down throw, the falling up air. Decent string of attacks. They are 52% now up against Ado Bears. 106-62 falling deep, but the tether grab gets it there.
Just a very good toolkit that Joker has. So many ways to deal with so many situations.
79 and counting up against Pitt. There's that counter doing work. But Pitts also comes into play there. Getting back to the edge is Ado Bears. Hops back on stage. 102-109. SU on the verge of taking this one, whereas Trickster just looking to stay alive. Floats back to the edge. Still has Arsene, but trailing.
And you could feel something. You can feel something coming on the horizon. These two are playing very close to each other. As you see right there, Joker takes the offstage stock. And Rowan, deja vu, man.
Ado Bears waited a little bit to drop down from that invincibility and start this final stock, wanting to compose himself. A huge lead, and that dash attack will do it. No DI in time. Ado Bears takes this one over Trickster. Syracuse opens up to a 4-2 lead.
A little less tension on that last stock, unlike what we saw at the end of the first set, but still, the exact same result, Rowan. I mean, very tense here on both from Ado Bears and Trickster. This has been a great matchup to watch all night.
In the first match, Lumashot took 4 points off of Syracuse, and the Baylor Bears led 4-2. This time, flip those around. Syracuse leads 4-2 after round number 1. It was a good display, one that was very reminiscent of a match later on in round 1. I believe it was Ado Bears versus Trickster, really coming down to the wire. Ado Bears had a big lead to start off, but little by little, it dwindled.
Yeah, and you saw the same thing. They picked up right where they left off. It was really just incredible. As you saw, Ado Bears Pitt took control very early with that star KO, and then the spike, which was absolutely filthy.
Such a treat to see a spike. I mean, it's a move that is tough to pull off, but when it's done, I mean, it is beautiful. And that dash attack just about did it for Syracuse. The Orange lead 4-2 against the Baylor Bears. Again, it's a best of 3. If you're just joining us at the start of set 2, welcome. I'm Rowan Mastrangelo alongside Ryan Foreman here for Thursday Night Smash. Syracuse on top, and we'll head into round 2. It's Howard's Piranha Plant for Baylor, a character that I don't think I've ever seen in PEC play.
A lot to talk about just by the selection alone, but That's besides the point, because we got Syrup coming in as Ness again.
That's right. It's Howard's piranha plant. It's Howard's piranha plant up against Syrup's Ness, a character that we don't see Syrup play a lot in the more modern day, but Syrup obviously a huge benefactor for this Syracuse roster. Usually plays Steve, but a plethora of characters that Syrup can tap. This time it was Ness.
New Jersey native, just like both of us.
That's
so
right.
A lot of New Jersey culture going out right now.
You're headed there in just a matter of hours, isn't that right?
Yes, very exciting times to go home for the break.
Beautiful.
A lot of time to rest, recuperate. But that's besides the point for Syrup, because he's been recuperating that Ness, coming back from the, not really the dead, but it's been a while since we've seen him play Ness. And he took care of business in that first set.
And we were talking to Sarvi before the game. Sarvi not playing today, but one of the longest tenured members of this Syracuse Smash team. And we asked, is there anything that really leads Syrup to switching it up from Steve to Ness? And he said it's really just a matter of preference. I mean, it's really just a vibes thing. And there are other characters that Syrup actually loves to play that we never really see the light of day much at all, in Lucas and in Wolf. But he was just feeling Ness today, and I mean, it paid off in the first match, and I can say the same about what's happening right now. 97% to a mere 7% for the Orange Man. And that's going to wrap things up pretty quick. That first stock, at least. SU takes it.
I didn't even see the actual smash attack come out. That looked like just the yo-yo. That's incredible.
Such a great edge guarding tool used to perfection there. Syracuse with an early stock lead with the best player in the country at the helm.
And this Piranha Plant, I mean, it's just such a funky character. Just so many odd ways, odd angles it can attack you.
Oh my goodness! On fire, and then he put him out with the spike.
Every time I talk, Syrup just says, hey, let me take control. I'm going to do something cool real quick.
And there's that down smash again. Can't quite clip him that time, but the neutral air will send him off the edge. Hunting for another spike. Can't find it, but replaces him on the edge. Oh, this is just looking dangerous. A mere 7.5% taken from Syrup. He's just toying with him now.
And there's that down B, and bye-bye.
Goodbye. 7.5% taken against Syrup. You blink once, and the game is over.
There is a million meme reactions I'm feeling right now, but none are bigger than the sheer awe I am seeing at Syrup taking care of business. Syrup has taken full control of this game on his own. He has claimed on his own 8 points.
No stocks against Syrup for the Baylor Bears, and you can't get too down on yourself for that. I mean, when you're playing against the best player in the country, it's pretty tough. But the Orange, with that 3 stock, it's going to really lift them up, give them a nice cushion to work with. It's an 8-2 Syracuse lead. But again, let's take a look at how it happened. It was an early Syrup lead, and that down smash flew Piranha Plant off the edge. Howard, all he could do was gasp, "Get out of here!"
Woo! Turn me up, Syrup. And then just this, which is filthy. 2 down Bs and bye-bye. That's all. Nothing else to talk about. Just pure carnage that Syrup delivers.
Not a chance, and we'll move on. I think Howard would be more than happy to move on from that. 8-2, Syracuse with the lead, a 1-0 lead on the match. One set one, just narrowly, but this one a little more catered for the Orange after that. We'll head into the third match here, though. Lumashot's Me Brawler for Baylor up against Talia's Yoshi. Talia, I mean, has shown a lot of improvement through this season as we've reached sort of the tail end of the PEC season.
Yoshi, a very unconventional character in the terms of Smash, because he doesn't really have a true recovery. But Talia's been able to use that to his advantage. With that sheer little lift he gets from that egg throw, it's been very effective for Talia this season.
Yeah, they've been terrific. And Yoshi, again, is a funky character, like you said. But Talia has really gotten very familiar with the fighter. We've seen when the season started, there were a couple of main faces that would play very frequently, consistent starters like you have on a conventional team. You've got the starting lineup, and then you've got the bench. And Talia wasn't exactly someone that we saw a lot of, but sort of towards the tail end of the season, we've seen a ton of growth from Talia on the screen, and that's been exemplified in Yoshi. Consistent wins, performed really well up against Boise State, showed a lot of confidence. There was a moment outside where Coach Nikita Bear was talking to Drew and Talia, and Bear asked the team, who can take this fighter? Who can take this fighter? Who can take this Boise State Bronco? And Talia was the first one to say, I think I got it. And that they did. It was a really studded performance, so heightened confidence and heightened skill from Talia. It's been present all year.
And like the way Talia plays Yoshi, you don't see that side special or that down B just because of the end lag, I believe, but it's just so effective when you're not really using two moves. It's just so effective, and they've been absolutely manhandling people, which has just been an absolute joy to watch here.
It's Talia's Yoshi up against Baylor's Lumashot, who's fighting as Mii Brawler. What can you tell me about this matchup?
Well, as we saw from that first set, the Mii Brawler had very similar moves to Scooby's Mii Brawler with that shot put, that feint kick, and that uppercut. The only different move that they shared between the Mii Brawlers was that flame kick side B for Lumashot, and Scooby had that suplex.
Well, we're getting into it right now. It's Yoshi, obviously, Talia, and Lumashot's Mii Brawler. In just a moment.
A lot of fakes tonight.
A lot of fakes tonight, but that's okay. We'll keep chopping it up. Michigan State will give an update on the Michigan State-Nebraska game. Obviously, a lot of stakes there. With a Michigan State win, which obviously means a Nebraska loss, and a Syracuse win today, the Orange will be just half a game shy of that coveted 3 seed, an ability to avoid Michigan State in the semifinals in May. Right now, the Spartans lead the Cornhuskers 1-0 down in Michigan.
I mean, that alone should give Syracuse motivation to just get it done. Just get everything they need from this set, their reps, their power, just absolutely demonstrate who they are as a team. As Sarvi came in saying he did not want to play Michigan State in the semis just because they're that threatening of a team.
And I don't blame him. I mean, adrenaline can help a lot, and sometimes you need that to beat a team that is on pace to go undefeated. And where do you get that adrenaline? The grand finals, the main stage, and that's what the Orange are fighting to. But they know that a big player like the Spartans might be in the way of that, so they want to push that off for as long as possible. As we get into round number 2, it's Syrup's Ness up against Howard the Ghastly's Piranha Plant, a character that we have not seen a lot. Oh, no, excuse me, we just saw that. I'm trifling. Lumashot's Mii Brawler up against Talia's Yoshi, excuse me. Here we go.
So much going on, a lot of excitement. Even we're a little shook just because of the sheer amount of energy this matchup is radiating.
Talia's Yoshi for Syracuse, Lumashot's Mii Brawler for Baylor, and Talia already doing a decent amount of damage there, 44, now 55. That forward air can't quite do it. But hiding in that egg, that's a huge component of Yoshi's skill set. Right?
Absolutely. Like one of the few characters whose shield is actually just its own unique type handling. I don't know exactly what you'd call that, but it's very unique to Yoshi, and I like the flare it adds.
There's that forward air, does a lot of damage. Another move that does a lot of damage, that down air. We haven't quite seen a lot of it just yet, but it's certainly a threat. Can't get the jab block there. We're about even on percents here, about a minute into the contest.
And you got to look for a lot of spikes here. Both these characters have a lot of way to dunk you off stage.
92-86, there's the grab from Yosh. The down throw, hunting for the up air, but shielded nicely by Howard. Talia gets on. Oh, that up smash. Oh, doesn't quite do it, nearly.
We're getting there. I could feel something about to come here.
There was that forward air. Couldn't seal it with the up air. There's the falling up air. Shot put, won't fall. A little bit of stalling for that up B from Yoshi. But the up smash will take it. Stock 1 goes to Baylor.
Almost too much patience there. The anxiety got to Talia, as you can see there, and just invited an up smash there from Lumashot.
Now the pressure's on to notch this thing up in terms of the stock race. The down tilt will not get followed up from Talia, but 136%. I mean, that's well in the range of a knockout for Syracuse.
Talia really wants that forward air as he's hunting for it, almost trying to force Lumashot into making a mistake so he can dunk him off stage.
There it is. A beautiful move. Heavy hitting one at that. 30% on Talia. A clean slate for Lumashot. 2-2.
Talia, I'm going to have to eat my words. That down B was absolutely beautiful, and I take back everything I said about you not using that move.
56% on Talia, 34% on Lumashot. Beautiful spot dodge there from Lumashot, and capitalizes on it with a plethora of percents on Syracuse. There's that falling forward air. 110% now on Talia. Yoshi, a decently heavy character despite the appearance.
Definitely deceptively heavy. I think that comes from the fact that Yoshi doesn't really have a true recovery option, so that weight makes up for it.
138 now. Now we're creeping into knockout zone. 55% on Lumashot. 150 now. Oh, there's that forward air. It does have a spike on the sweet spot. Didn't get it there, but it's more than enough. Syracuse comes back from behind, now with the stock lead.
I mean, it wasn't a spike, but it doesn't make it any less pretty. But Talia's got to watch out as they're at 150% here. Got to make the most of what you can to claim this last stock.
And that's what they're doing. 62% already dealt to Lumashot, while Talia on the verge of a knockout blow from Baylor.
And he's handling that air movement so quick, so nice as you see that down air.
Wow, such percent. Look at all that. From 75 to 113. That up B will take it, but not before 113% dealt to Lumashot.
The job was done there. Now you just got to close out right here. With this 134% Lumashot's out, Talia's just got to get that one blow, that one decider.
Talia hunting for the comeback win in this round over Lumashot's Me Brawler. 142, and that's going to do it. Talia down almost over a full stock against Lumashot, rips back. Syracuse ahead even more. It's a 12-4 Syracuse lead.
Rather anticlimactic, if you ask me. Talia was looking for that finishing blow, but Lumashot tried to get a little too fancy off stage and ended up going under the stage. But hey, a dub is a dub, Rowan.
Absolutely, and Syracuse can smile after that one because they've clinched this. It's all over. There is no mathematical chance for Baylor to win this set here. The Orange lead 12-4. So we'll head into this final game. It'll really just be for fun. Syracuse will move to 9-4 after this one, and Baylor still hunting for that win, Ryan.
And that set, man. I mean, we are just looking at a team that actually put on a great performance. I would say that this was a competitive game wire to wire. I didn't feel like Syracuse was fully in control except when Syrup was playing.
Agreed.
And I just really think this was a very good tune-up matchup for Syracuse. But moving into this next matchup, Byleth played by Drew versus Calamity Terry. I love watching Drew play personally, especially last week.
Yeah, it's a funky matchup, but speaking of Drew, he's kind of in a similar vein as Talia, a fighter or just a player on the Syracuse team who didn't see a ton of time at the beginning of the year, but has really come into his own and leveled out as a fighter, very consistently showing up in these games towards the tail end and middle chunk of the season. He's done a great job, really very consistent.
You know, last week against Boise State, he had probably one of my favorite moments. He lost that first set game, and then came back and said, hey, I want a rematch. Won the game in the second set against the same player, and then took care of business in the third set. That's the type of thing that fires you up, not as a player, as a team. That's a guy who brings the energy, much like Sarvi does. And it's just a really fun match to watch. But he's playing Byleth this week instead of Joker last week.
Right. Usually we see him fighting as the Persona character, but today it's Byleth, and both super fun characters.
Absolutely.
What do you like about Byleth?
I love that Byleth is not like any other Fire Emblem character, because I personally have a little bit of a grudge against how similar all the Fire Emblem characters is.
I think it's a shared opinion, for sure.
It's like, you see another Fire Emblem character, and you're like, okay, how is this guy going to be the same? We are getting breaking news here from Sarvi.
Breaking news.
That Calamity is changing.
We've gotten a request we've gotten a request, but there's been an update here. Calamity looking to change their fighter for Baylor. Originally came in as Terry. Drew sticking with Byleth, but we're not exactly sure how that's going to play out and what the rules are for PEC play if you can adjust your fighter post-draft. But we're going to see how that all plays out. If it doesn't, Drew, as Byleth, is going to be going up against Calamity Terry. What do you like about that matchup?
I like that Byleth is a phenomenal poke character. Range with melees, and that bow shot is absolutely electric. I believe over Sarvi in our headsets, I heard him say Ganondorf. So I don't know what this matchup is going to be. And we're just as shocked as you, as we do see the Ganondorf pick right there on our screen.
Right, so I guess Syracuse is going to allow Baylor to change the fighter just before the matchup. This is something that I've never seen in PEC play. Generally, it is very strict. After you draft a player and a fighter, that's that. But today, a little bit of a difference. Syracuse with a 12-4 lead. They win regardless, but Drew's Byleth up against Calamity's Ganondorf.
I've been playing a little bit of Ganondorf myself in some free time, and I gotta say, Ganondorf hits like a truck.
Yeah.
It's genuinely fun to watch. His his up normal, it's a kick that just deals a metric ton of damage and breaks shields so efficiently.
Really, all you need to do as Ganondorf is land 5 or 6 moves, and then you can start hunting for that knockout move. And that's exactly what's been done here and right there. 3-2, a lead for Baylor.
Just 26% taken in that first stock, and you see it. Ganondorf, while he has a ton of end lag on most of his moves, it doesn't make them any less effective.
Yes, still a threat, especially on the offensive end. 61% for Calamity, 54% for Drew, but obviously that stock difference, it's about a full stock advantage for Baylor. The game sits at 12-4. Syracuse won the first set and will win this second set, but we're still here for fun.
Absolutely, but before we got cut off by the breaking news when I was talking about how Byleth is just so different, he just has so many tools to deal with everybody. That bow, as you see there, can reach from across the stage. He doesn't have a counter like most Fire Emblem characters, which I kind of like. And that weird, that side special where they do a combo. I love that he doesn't have that. I think he's the most fun Fire Emblem character by far, even including Corrin, who's also a Fire Emblem character. As we see Drew get knocked off by Ganondorf there, as he takes it right back.
There it is. Got the lick back. The 1-2, Drew and Calamity. Calamity leads with 2 stocks, Drew with just 1. Again, Syracuse ahead on the set, 12-4. Bit of damage done and a bit of control on the center. Went for the spike there, Calamity, but couldn't quite land it.
If we've learned anything from Drew, he loves getting his get-backs from these last 2 weeks.
Here's Drew with center stage, both of them jostling for position. The dash attack will give it in favor of the orange. 63 now, good control of the center. Now hustling back, replaced him on the ledge. Oh, but couldn't quite get him to fall. Instead, it's Drew drop into the void. Syracuse will take set 2, though, nonetheless.
In a weird, unprecedented ending to the set, it doesn't change the outcome, as Syracuse takes the set and the matchup to go just hopefully a half game behind that if Nebraska loses to Michigan State, which Syracuse will be now watching with very bated breath right now.
Right, that game going on right now should be wrapping up in just a few moments, as ours just did. If it goes to 3 sets, then maybe not, but Michigan State, I mean, they have been blazing this year, and I'm gonna be curious how that game wraps up. Obviously, high implications for the Syracuse Orange, but they've controlled all they can today. A 2-0 win against the Baylor Bears. Very impressive display, consistent play all throughout. What I really liked from this Syracuse squad today was they faced a little bit of adversity in set 1, backs against the wall when maybe it was unprecedented, but that didn't slow the Orange down. They came back, won set 1, and then came into set 2 exactly how most people expected it to go.
I'm going to be a little corny here, but pressure does build diamonds, Rowan. But it's just really impressive to see the Syracuse team, even with that little hiccup there, they took care of business at the end of the day and were able to get the dub.
Syracuse's hunt to a top 3 seed is 1 game closer. A 2-0 win over Baylor puts Syracuse just closer to that goal of an advantageous seed in Vegas. Meanwhile, the Bears still hunting for their first win of the season. Syracuse moves to 9-4, and Baylor drops to 0-13. But you can catch Syracuse right back here on stream up against Kansas with an opportunity to stack more wins. They're on a 2-game streak, aiming to make it 3 for the last time quite a while. But that'll do it here from the Shine Gaming and Esports Center. Syracuse, again, your 4 seed in the PEC, and we'll head into the tail end of the season. A big thanks to everyone on our esports production team, our director of production, Sean Kelly, everyone in the booth just to our left, obviously my good friend, Ryan Foreman. I'm Rowan Mastrangelo. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week.